Okay. Um, just a thought. I could be wrong, but it could possibly be. I think you said you've spoken with preachers or ministers. It could possibly be that because you're going there to debate and argue, or try to be argued into the existence of God or the proof thereof, it may not work that way. You may not understand that way. You actually have to go and listen and be taught and educated.
I've been through other stuff. I've been through youth groups where I've had to sit through fucking mass and listen to their bullshit. I've had Bible study where I've had to fucking break down what we think this verse is supposed to mean to us. Like it's just bullshit.
So you've asked a lot of questions, and each one of them were answered.
Yeah, with a bunch of you just have to see. You have to. It's all of a metaphor, and it's just God works in mysterious ways. There's never a clear answer to my question. Why? What? It's all just distraction. So like if I ask like why would if I ask a moral question, right? And I say, oh, well, why would God allow this or such and such? They'll say, oh, free will. But then at the same time, God can also influence our physical world with miracles. So why the fuck does he only do certain miracles? Well, then they say, oh, well, that's just free will again. But that like it's just there's no consistency to how God functions in any sort of way.
Well, I would just say, I mean, if that's the best you can receive, then yeah, you would probably have to fire those teachers.
I mean, yeah, but I have yet to see anyone, anyone, like literally any preacher at all watching like YouTube videos or anything. I've never found any information online. I've talked to many religious people, all from different. I've talked to Muslims, talked to Jewish people, talked to all different types of people who hold all different types of beliefs, and I still do, which is why I debate here today. Because if anyone has some sort of argument, I'm always open to hear it, but it has to be a logical argument. See, at the end of the day, right? I'm an intellectual, right? So I'm not gonna just sit here and be dismissive over and over again for no logical reason, right? If I'm dismissing a certain thing, it's gonna be for a reason, and I can always articulate that reason. If
What? So I think we've. You said the other topic was transgenderism.
yeah, but I want to get into the politics a little bit because you said that you don't believe in like separation. So like, what do you mean by that? Like, do you mean that there is no separation of church and state, or there should be no separation of church and state.
Well,
Like,
there actually is no such thing as separation of church and state because whether you have a state of people, you're always going to have a belief system that'll administer or apply those beliefs to the in the law.
it doesn't have to be that way. Who says? Why does it have to be that way?
There's no there's no non-existence of a belief system. When people vote,
Currently,
when
but
people
you're so like currently yes, but there could be so like in the event that I'm under the assumption that if everyone in the world was educated to the highest level, because there's statistical evidence backing my argument. If you look at like the smartest, or what we consider to be the smartest people in the world, right? And you work your way up, so you go from like mathematicians, right, or just like college educated people to high level mathematicians to then like elite philosophers, right? As you go up, like the number of religious people drops as you go from like just like college educated people to like highly credited people that we consider to be like geniuses in our study. The numbers start to drop a little bit more, and then like elite philosophers that we consider to be like you know the people like fucking Da Vinci and shit, Socrates and shit, Aristotle.
Yeah, because there is for far as I know, there is no person that knows everything, so that leaves the capacity of a belief system, so that can never be avoided, even in government.
Why do you say that that can never be avoided? Just because of our current system and how it functions.
Because nobody, to my knowledge, no person knows everything. If you knew everything, there wouldn't be a point to believe because you know.
You don't need no, not one person needs to know everything. That's why we have the ability to communicate, right? And even further, we have the ability to like share information, like keep records of information, right? Like we live in a very advanced society. Like everything that we're saying right now is being recorded, right? And anyone in the world has the ability to, well, anyone that has access to the internet, this is just a money problem here, is anyone that has access to the internet is able to sign in to YouTube and watch this video and listen to everything that we're saying. And it's just an education problem. Or if you want to argue that education is ineffective, absolutely. It needs to be there needs to be way more effective education for the masses. Absolutely. But when you say that, if you're saying that there should be no separation of church and state, that's where I say absolutely not, because that gets completely in the way of trying to educate people about secularism and like just like science and the world around them. They're like objective things that aren't subjective. Because my problem with religion is it's completely subjective. Why are we? Why would we ever like? If we have no separation of church and state, there's immediately going to be, a million Christians that want their kids to be taught Christianity in school, and we can't do that because like it, it's just it's completely anti-progressive, completely.
Yes,
You agree to that?
I can think about it. I can think on it.
All right. But if you wanted to move on to transgenderism, go ahead. What's your what's your view? What's your stance on transgenderism?
Well,
I don't have any problems with it whatsoever.
I'll put it like this because transgenderism is there's so many different ways I could go with it. Probably depending on what exactly we're talking about with transgenderism. But I'll just put this statement like this: it's any person that is going through what they call, I guess, a gender or identity situation, whatever's going on with that person. I definitely champion that that person does all he or she can to seek uh, I guess it may depend on how far along they are, but any type of deconversion therapy, something that would help them, they would be analyzed, they would be interviewed to make sure that this is not a mistake what they're doing about going through a transition.
I mean, when you say deconversion, right? I think that the goal should not be deconversion. I think it should be making sure that, like you said, that this is what they want to do. right? That this is actually, you know, something that is affecting them. But like that's pretty obvious. Like if somebody is going to the level of like hurting themselves, right? Wouldn't you say like, maybe this is something that should be looked into more. Maybe this person feels like they're not being taken seriously, you know, especially when this is like consistent, you know, and there's evidence that they do it because of the fact that people don't take them seriously.
Yes, there is, like, say, like, for example, a person wants to make the decision to have all these procedures and treatments done. Basically, before they can even do that, they actually have to go through some type of therapy to try to reverse and resolve them actually trying to transition.
I think
And
the therapy should be more focused on uh, curbing suicidal tendencies rather than like it's more about making the person feel comfortable in their body, because at the end of the day that's the issue. The person does not feel comfortable in their body, right? They feel like they've been born into the wrong body, and they need to feel like they're in the correct gender, right? I don't view it as like a mental issue. Do you? That they're like they shouldn't think this way,
uh,
that like that is what needs to be treated, their the way they think about how they feel.
yes, I would say there's some type of issue because there's some type of disorder because a person, they were born with a mind with a body that does not match. So there's some type of disorder there.
Well, I would say there's like it's different, but like I don't want to I don't want to treat that as like, oh, it's a disability or any like if you want to get really technical with it, sure, you can say, oh, it causes, depression because they feel like they're not in the right body. Well, technically, yeah, sure, it's a disability, and that's but I don't view it as like the person is wrong for viewing that they were born in the wrong body, because maybe that's possible, because like there's neurological evidence that uh there's a certain part in the brain where uh like it influences. I can send you a video on it. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to quote something wrong, but I'll cite this video. It's a professor talking about uh the neurological parts of like transgenderism. Basically, he was saying, "Where's my phone?" He was saying that like people are born. There's a certain part in the brain where people, if you look at it, you can determine what like sex someone is, and basically in transgender people, like it wasn't matching with what body they had. Fuck, where's my phone? You can go ahead and respond while I look.
So for
You know
people
what?
that are going through or seeking to transition, I definitely urge and champion and encourage that they do all they can to try to uh, deconvert or reverse the process. I believe I heard about some people online on YouTube that have actually done so. They've actually had the deconversion therapy and it was successful, and they realized that that was a mistake what they were doing, and that uh, they do support having that therapy first before anything else.
So, yeah, so that's not the therapy that I'm talking about. You're talking. So you're more concerned with, you think that they shouldn't be affirming their gender. They absolutely should be. That's what makes them more comfortable. Not that not all transgenders want to deaffirm their gender. Affirming their gender is what a lot of transgenders seek, and what helps them. You're focusing on like people that have like had regret about what they did, but like that's that's not most of transgender. That's a false equivalent.
Any person that desires to go through the transition, uh, I do encourage that they go through the therapy process to prevent any further transition.
You're just
If
repeating yourself. I heard you.
if well, that's where we come back to the bottom line. It's in other words, a person that desires transition, don't just go ahead and do it, but actually go through all of the channels to see if it can be reversed successfully. And after through all of the rigorous long processes of trying to and they're unsuccessful, then there's really nothing you can do. The person is going to affirm it and most likely will not um, ever attempt deconversion therapy after that. So that's pretty
Hold
much
on.
my
I want to show
stance
you
on
this.
it.
I want to show you this video.
No, it just says watch together and it has that snowy fuzz on the like on the TV screen.
Are you able to click it?
Oh, hold on. Okay, something's coming up now. All right, here we go.
Here, you want to roll it back?
No, it's loading up.
Oh, okay. I'll pause it. You don't miss me.
Good.
Because I think we're watching it together.
All right, it's still loading. Let's see.
All right. Let me know when it loads up for you.
Yeah, at the bottom of the screen it's saying pause, and then at the top where the video is, it's just a circle. Okay, here it goes.
Yeah, I just unpaused it. So we could stop it there, but that's pretty much uh, what I wanted to show you. I mean, that's pretty interesting, don't you think? That their brain is affirming that they are correct in saying that they were born in the wrong body. The neurobiology backs what they're saying. So it's not actually like improper brain functioning, it's actually proper brain functioning. They're actually right. What's your response to that?
Yeah, that goes along with what I said. I said that people will have a mind of one sex, but then have a body not to match. So that's why I said that's still like a disorder.
Right, but then you said that you want them to detransition, right? But that's what transitioning is what they need. You say that they are born in the wrong body, so why can't they be in the right body? It's is their body more correct than their mind?
Well, basically what I said is I encourage the deconversion process or therapy. And
It's not possible though.
yeah, I encourage it regardless of how far along the transition is, early, later. Uh, and,
Why?
and if
Why?
there's if there
Why if it's not possible? You're just not affirming their gender.
yeah,
That's just counterproductive.
let me finish.
If we determine that if we can determine that that the person is actually been born in the wrong body, would you still support detransitioning therapy?
Well, that's
If
part
we
of the
determine that
that's part of the therapy. If they're able to prove,
no,
okay.
what do you mean? That's part of the therapy.
Well, as I was trying to finish the statement, if they're going through the therapy, and once they're going through a very elaborate therapy, a very elaborate process, if at the end of it, and it was a very rigorous process, that this person just will not, uh, what is it? Uh, they won't rescind, but they are affirming it, then they've gone through the therapy successfully and still come out the same way. There's nothing you can do. Just leave it alone.
So let's say this. Let's say we had like a test. Remember, he was just saying that there's like there's a part of the brain that can determine whether or not what sex you are, and that the people that are transgender, that their part of the brain is correct and their body isn't. So if we had a test that could test those people's brain, right, instead of just doing the therapy and trying to detransition them, what if you could go to the doctor, get tested to see if you were born in the wrong body? Would you, if that test came back positive that they were born in the wrong body, would you support them having therapy to not affirm their gender?
No, because that would be a part of the therapy. The therapy I'm talking about.
So your concern is just with making sure that that's what they want.
The concern is having the deconversion therapy done. And if for whatever reason that is successful and they they're not going to transition, good. But if it's not successful, or excuse me, if they come out at the end of it and they're still affirming what they are, and because I don't know what all goes into it, I'm looking at it on the outside, looking into it. So whatever
Right.
happens at the end,
Neither of us are therapists.
whatever happens at the end of it, if they're still going to affirm it, there's nothing you can do. Leave it alone.
So if they go through the therapy and the doctors find the doctors and the therapists find that they're not lying, you support them affirming their gender.
I'm not going to say I support it.
Basically.
I just say I'll just let them. They're going to do what they do. I just encourage them going to the therapy. Whatever happens at the end of it happens at the end of it.
Why are you just concerned sure we weed out all the people who don't want to be transgender. Why is that so concerning to you?
because that's better than just going with someone just saying I'm just going to transition and don't
Do you
have any
also
therapy at all. I'm
do you,
just going to transition and take the position,
okay?
and that's it.
Do, okay, so then do you also take the position that people that want to get like other cosmetic jobs, like people that want to get like boob jobs and shit, and like lip jobs, should they also go through like deconversion therapy first before they get their treatment?
Oh, let's see, like
Do you support that as well?
modification too. Yeah, sure. If you want to
So at
modify,
the end of the day, that's what all this is. It's
if you
just body. It's just advanced body modification.
if you want to modify your body, find out what you don't like about your body. Find out if it's where the hatred is coming from.
Oh, so you do support the deconversion therapy for any type of body modification.
Yeah, they can find out where the strong disdain and the strong dislike for why their body is naturally the way it is, why they don't like it.
Maybe that's just their personal preference. Do you think that, like, let's say I want to get a tattoo? Is that not should I get therapy for that? Because I just want to have some art on my skin.
I would encourage it, sure.
Why?
It's all the
What's
same.
the
Anything that
transfer?
you do against on your body, because
Do you cut your
this
hair?
is something you're doing with your body.
Do you cut your hair?
I'm not gonna be against people that want to get to the root of why they really want to do this thing to their body. They weren't born naturally, or their body doesn't naturally, as is.
Okay. Do you cut your hair?
Yes.
Why do you modify your body? Do you go to like deconversion therapy for that?
No, I don't believe that's a modification.
It's not a modification. What do you mean? Your hair naturally grows. There's nothing that chops it off. You did that artificially.
Yeah, but I don't believe cutting your hair is a modification to your body. A
It absolutely
modification,
is.
a
It's
modification,
you
a
look.
modification to your body would be doing something to your scalp that you wouldn't have a grow hair again, or keep
Oh,
it from getting too long.
your hair is not part of the body.
It is. It's attached to the body, but the modification would be doing something to your scalp to order to prevent hair from growing or keeping it from getting too long. But the body growing the hair will continue to keep growing the hair, even when you cut it. So you're not really changing what the body is doing. It's just going to keep
You're,
doing
you
it. But
well,
once you
you know,
change a physical
you know,
part to your body, you changed it. You've actually innately done something to your body.
So if I get a tattoo, what did I change? And my body's gonna function the same. Your skin still functions the same. Just
Well,
gotta change the
I'm not too learned up on what tattoos do to your skin, or what configuration changes or with around the ink. I mean, we're kind of delving all over the place.
Well,
I don't know too
I
much
think
about
it's
these
just like
areas,
I think it's
and I don't know too
I
much
think it's
about transgenderism or too much about the therapy process. There's no harm in going to the therapy, so there shouldn't be any argument for people getting therapy, especially if it's something to help them.
I no, I only think that people should be getting therapy if they want to make body modifications that are like actually like harmful to their body, like very harmful. Like if it's causing people like actual pain, like the reason I would support therapy for transgender people is because they go through like mental health issues because they don't feel affirmed in their body. I would only support therapy until they feel affirmed and comfortable in their body and they've worked out their issues with like depression and stuff like that. But there's nobody's depressed over getting a tattoo. Nobody's depressed over like
How
getting
do
a
you know?
piercing, getting their ears pierced.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
I've got my ears pierced. I wasn't depressed. I just
How do you
wanted to
know
fucking.
nobody is depressed about a tattoo?
I mean, maybe Well,
Oh,
like
now
a
you're
majority
recanting
of
it.
people do
Okay.
not get tattoos because they're depressed. A lot of people get tattoos because they like the art, or they want to make a commemoration to something, or they just want something permanent on their body, a reminder. Like there's nothing depressing about that. That's usually the main reason. The main reason people usually get tattoos. A lot of people just get tattoos because they're like, "Fuck it, I want to." They're literally go out, they get drunk, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to have a good time. This is part of me having a good time. I'm gonna get a fucking stupid tattoo of some stick figure," and they do it as a joke. Like, people get tattoos for all different sorts of reasons. The main reason is definitely not because they are depressed. That's why I know that, because that is definitely not the main reason. There's many other reasons, and the main one is not depression.
Do you think I like my skin, or any person would like his skin as is if I want to color it?
I don't think it's about skin color. I think it's about using your body as like you. Basically, the idea is like you can draw on it and it will just stay there. Like you have something on you, something that you can keep with you that's physically attached to you.
If I love,
It's part
if
of you.
if I like a skin
It's
color,
symbolic.
the if I like a skin color the way it is, just as it is, do you think I would get a tattoo, or that person would get a tattoo?
Yes, yes, you can like your skin color and get a tattoo.
That's a
Yes,
contradiction.
people. No, how is that not a? How is that a contradiction?
If I like something as is, I'm not going to change it. Not going to alter it.
Yeah, I'm not. You're not. When you get a tattoo, you don't change your entire fucking skin color. It's not like when I go get a tattoo, I'm going from being a white person to hey, going in there saying, hey, tattoo me black. No, that's not how it works. I get a little small tattoo of something that is symbolic for me, part of my skin.
I'm sorry. I
I
meant
mean,
to. I'm sorry. I probably wasn't clear. When I say I like or a person likes their skin, I mean from head to toe.
what I have to like every single cell on my
Well,
like
you can like
like
whatever you like. Maybe you don't. There are other people that do.
what? Why do I have to like? I can't just think like you. So you're telling me that you you fucking you love the fucking bottom of your ass cheek. I mean, I'm just being hyperbolic here, but like it's just like come on.
So
Like, what is the
do you think
significance
it's
between that?
impossible for
Because
people to love their skin?
no, I mean, I can love my skin. Me putting a tattoo over it doesn't make me love my skin any less.
Yeah, that's you. But there are people that love their skin through it, their skin color through and through. So
You would find that you will
those
like it
people
through and
probably
through.
will not get a
I like you.
tattoo.
I, 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 I don't know what you mean, like by through and through. I still love my skin through and through.
Hmm.
Just because I put a tattoo on it doesn't mean that I don't love my skin. I'm modifying it to be unique to me. So all right. So for instance, so that's basically like saying if somebody fucking gets like a little decal on their car that they must not love the fucking car. Would you say that people that like modify their cars to be like fast that they don't love their cars? They absolutely do.
Are you asking me the question, or are you going to answer it?
I mean, it was pretty rhetorical,
Oh,
but
okay.
you really shouldn't say no. They don't love their cars because they do.
Do they love them the way it is?
When they modify it, yeah.
So before it, they didn't.
Before it wasn't unique to them. They didn't value it as
Did they
much.
love it the
They
way it
valued it,
was?
but not as much.
Did they love it the way it was?
Not at that current time, obviously. Not when they got the tattoo. No, they were just
Exactly.
like, I want to do something different. But people don't think about it like that. You're being you're thinking way too much into that. Like it's not like when I go to like if I was to go to like a tattoo place, right? I'm gonna go in there and be like, oh man, I'm gonna cover up this fucking spot on my arm forever, and 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 this spot will forever be gone and never be a part of me. No, like it's so people go into a tattoo place and get this tattoo on me, and I want something to remember, something that I can keep with me. It's about the fact that it's permanent.
Yeah, I do accept that people like tattoos and people like the way tattoos look on them, look on their skin. They 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 like their skin with the tattoo. So they like that. If they like that more than just having it without it, that's why they got the tattoo.
But you're implying that like they hate their bodies beforehand. Like no, it's not like they dislike their body. It's that they would like it more if they could make this modification. They would bring them enjoyment.
Right. So they don't like it enough to never be without it.
To be without no, that's not true. It's not that
Hmm.
they can't be without it. People can go without being tattoos, and they do all the time. I've wanted tattoos on my body. I just haven't gotten any yet, and I probably will eventually, but I just haven't because I want to make sure that that it is valuable to me, something that I want to keep on my body for the rest of my life. I'm not one of those people that just does it out of the whim. But if I was to go get a tattoo, it wouldn't be because I want to cover up this part of my body. It's because I want to keep something with me. It's a sentimental value. So you can't take away that tattoo from me. Nobody can take away that. That's the value. That's why people do it because it's priceless in its value. Your body is actually they value their body so much that they feel that if they make this modification, they can have something that is priceless that cannot be taken away from them. They want to modify their body because of that.
Okay. So do you agree that there are people that regret being transgender?
Some people, yeah, sure.
Okay, and people that regret that they they probably have some misery and some they have emotional stuff going on with that. You probably That's probably something that you agree that they probably wouldn't want.
Yeah, just like if somebody got a tattoo and they regret it, they would be like, "Oh, damn, people get their tattoos covered up. That happens."
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with encouraging therapy first.
Why? Why? I mean, you could encourage it, but like, sure, but like, when you say encourage it, what do you mean by that?
You
How are
support
we
it.
gonna
You
encourage
would support
therapy?
it. If people would ask you, let's say for example, somebody asks you, should I get therapy? You say yeah. I'll take you to the
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah,
I'll take you
yeah.
to the
If somebody was
therapy
to ask,
clinic, whatever.
yeah, yeah, I don't see any problem with that. If somebody was to ask you, should I get therapy? There's nothing wrong with supporting someone. There's never anything wrong with supporting something that you think might be beneficial for someone. No, no.
Yeah.
Like the therapy is useful, but if you, the way it sounded like to me is that you were like saying that we should prescribe this. Like if you go to the tattoo place, they should be like, hey, go to therapy first, then come back and get the tattoo. If you're saying anything like that, fuck no. But if you're just saying like if somebody was to come up to you and say, hey, should I get therapy because I want to make this change and I'm not too sure about it. Sure, there's nothing wrong with supporting someone.
In terms of transgenderism, I do say prescribe therapy first.
Oh yeah, for transgenderism, yeah, because there's like mental it's well documented that like this is like a medical issue and it requires medical intervention. So yeah, I wouldn't be against prescribing therapy for transitioning. Yeah, I don't have any qualm with that. Excuse me. So
Well,
like,
hmm
is this like your only position on transgenderism? Like, just prescribe therapy first?
yeah, that's
I mean,
that's pretty much that's pretty much all I really got towards it right now. I don't really spend a lot of time talking about it or thinking about it or whatever like that. But it's been
I mean, you
fun.
already do this. Like, this is already a part of the process for a gender affirming care. It's usually like the first step doctors do. So, I mean, I don't. So then you don't have an issue with anything. You're happy with the way the process works, right?
I'm happy that they're going to therapy. I'll put it that way. But I mean, it's been fun, man. Did you have anything else you wanted to get out? I think I'm gonna roll out shortly.
Nah, I think that was it. It was a pretty lively debate. Uh, my bad if I was steamrolling you a little bit there. I didn't mean to. Sometimes I can I can talk a little bit long and whatnot, but uh, I I was trying to understand your position, but it's all good. I don't know. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I think that'll be it for now. I definitely appreciate you taking the time out today to talk. Uh, I don't know if you normally stop by other channels or whatever, or how active you are on here, but I don't know. You can join us. Come on. I don't know if that other channel is still up. I might jump in there.
All right. Well, I'll catch you later.
All right.
Good talk.
Peace.